Hello guys, welcome to another weekly breakdown video. Today I'll be breaking down the first week of May, as you can see, starting from 28th of April 2025. So before starting the weekly breakdown, as always, let me quickly show you the news. Monday there is no news. Tuesday New York news. Wednesday there is Euro and USD news, NFP non-farm employment change, and also USD lots of news. Thursday there is New York news. Friday there is NFP. So trading London shouldn't be a battle on this week because there is no sort of news, right? So on the weekly time frame now, starting the supply demand fair value, I will not say, you guys know how to mark them, and if you don't practice, it's very easy. Once you have put enough time in the markets, you will figure out how to mark those zones. So the only thing that I will tell you is the previous weekly candle is bearish, and it is also rejecting from a weekly supply zone. Excuse me. So now going on the next week, my bias on GU is clearly bearish, meaning anything that's aligning with the weekly bias being bearish would be considered as a higher probability trade. So now going on the weekly time frame, as you can see, on DXY, it was the bias is aligning with GU. On GU, my bias is bearish. DXY, my bias is bullish. On the weekly time frame, which I've also written here, with DXY bullish, GU bearish. So it was literally aligning, and whenever the bias are aligning like that, that is when we like it, right? So now going on the daily time frame, that is when on the daily time frame you can see on the weekly time frame the bias is bearish, and the daily time frame on Monday the bias is bullish. So that is when I don't trade Monday, right? So Monday I just decided not to trade because the bias was not clear, and yeah man, Monday was a no trade day for me, and Monday literally went to the upside, as you can see right here. Monday was a very, very bullish day here. So now not trading Monday gave me my bias for Tuesday, right? So now on Tuesday I will look for buys, because obviously I trade with a daily bias. Yes, there is always a chance that the price can go up, make the high of the week, and then come to the downside. But me, I like trading with the bias, with the trend. So until and unless the price is going up, I want to go up. Until and unless the price is going down, I want to go down. And only if the price shows that it wants to continue now, change from up to down or down to up, that is when I change my bias. Until then, I trade with the bias. So going on Tuesday, my Monday candle closed as a bullish candle. So I was looking for buys on GU, and the contrary happened on DXY, which was bearish. So obviously now I would go to the 4-hourly time frame. On the 4-hourly time frame, there was a change of character to the upside. There was a H4 demand zone right here, and yeah, on DXY I will only show you the bias because it will be a very, very big video. And yeah, I'm not making this video for a strategy purpose, right? I already know the strategy. I know how to mark those zones. This is just a reference video for myself, for future Amrit, so that he can watch it and he can literally learn something from it, right? So going on Tuesday, it was a no trade day for me, because on Tuesday I didn't took this trade because no trade day for me because the time windows I trade weren't volatile and the momentum was very low in both the sessions. Okay, that's totally fine. As you can see, this was a no trade day for me on Tuesday because the momentum on the markets were very low. Monday was a beautiful counter bias trade. I've also journaled that trade if you guys want to watch that trade, so you can have a watch. So as you can see, Tuesday was a no trade day for me because the momentum were not clear, as I've written there. And now going on Wednesday, I will look for literally my bias is not clear because it is looking like a bullish candle and also a bearish at the same time. The volume is very low, and also on Wednesday there is ADP non-farm employment and lots of news. So going on Wednesday, if I was looking for something, there was also a fair value gap right here to fill, right? So it was very, very tricky going on Wednesday. But when I go to DXY literally the bias was the price came back, gave a small fair value gap right here, and the bias was bearish. And on GU the bias was not clear, so also on Wednesday I decided not to trade. So Wednesday was a no trade day for me because the bias was not clear. Maybe I've written here, I didn't. So now going on Thursday, my bias is clearly bearish. So not trading Monday gave me the bias for Tuesday, and Tuesday was a no trade day because the momentum was not the volume was very low. Wednesday was a no trade day because the bias was not clear. So not trading Wednesday literally gave me the bias for Thursday now. So that is how I trade. Personally, I trade like that. I don't trade every single day. I wait for the price to show me that the bias now is clear. Now you can trade, to give me the green signal, right? And after I get the green signal, that is when I trade, and that is when I tend to get my most high probability trades and win them. The goal as a trader is not to be correct all the time. The goal is to make money. The goal is to make a good amount of percentage when I'm correct and lose a very low amount of percentage when I'm wrong. That should be the goal of every single trader. So going on Thursday, there is a New York news, as you can see, unemployment claims and ISM manufacturing PMI. So that is when on Thursday I'm looking for sales to confirm the bias. Now on DXY, the bias is clearly bullish. So going on Thursday, and also this daily small fair value gap has been filled, and no signs of rejection from there. So obviously the price is not respecting it, and if the price is not respecting a zone, who are we to respect it, right? And if the price is respecting, then who are we to not respect it? That's the rule. That's the golden rule in trading. So now the price is also in this bullish solidified range on the H4 time frame. As you can see, the price was trading between these higher lows and higher highs. Now the price went down, a higher low, a beautiful higher low entry on the H4. And if I was a swing trader, to be honest, I would have looked for some sort of buying here with a stop loss below here. Target would be this, right? But I'm not a swing trader, I'm an intraday trader, and this H4 demand zone is valid, obviously, because of this change of character here. And yeah, me personally, I'm looking to break this demand zone, and I trade, and I want to trade against this. But yeah, according to my strategy, according to my higher time frame bias, on Thursday I was looking for sales. But yeah, also we have to keep in mind, also one thing I figured out when I was backtesting, that obviously, bro, I'm backtesting so many hundreds of times, I would figure out some things, right? At least. So on Wednesday I didn't took the trade because also the Asian range was not that attractive. But now on Thursday, the Asian range is literally bearish, the bias is bearish, and the Asian range is bearish. So the most ideal case scenario on Thursday would be the Asian range to be bullish and to find some sort of resistance from this supply zone, from some sort of New York session here, and then a zone like this. This would be a class setup, but that didn't happen. The Asian range literally went down, and that is whenever something like this happen in the market, I tend to look for two things, which is a counter bias trade or a continuation model. In this case, I looked for a counter bias trade because I'm backtesting. I am doing this sort of things. Obviously in the live market I would not trade this day because this was a very low probability day, and there was also no clear zones to trade from. This trade was a losing trade, as you can see. I have also journaled this trade if you guys want to have a more deep picture in this on this trade. Literally the price went up, entered the equilibrium. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and also this stop loss didn't make sense, mate. This trade shouldn't have been taken because the stop loss also didn't make sense. Otherwise, whenever the risk to reward doesn't make sense, I tend to not trade in the market. And yeah, this was literally a loss, but after inducing us, this is why patience is so important, right? Just because your time window has entered doesn't mean that you need to take the trade. Sometimes the time window, what the price does, goes down, manipulates the early buyers, and then gives the moves, like in this case. So patience is so important. So in this case right here, the patient traders were paid by the impatient traders right here, right? So you gotta be patient. So the main trade of the day would be a sell from this New York supply, as I have just explained it to you guys, and that also exactly happened to the T. I could have literally taken this sell on New York session, as you can see, but the only reason that I have not taken this trade, this was also a head and shoulders pattern, as you can see right here. It is a market structure. The only reason that I have not taken this trade on New York session was because of the news. There were two news, and I don't know, no one knows what the news will do, right? So it can go up, it can go down. So yeah, keeping that in mind, I was not intent, or I was not influenced to take this trade. But this trade, maybe on the live markets also I would have taken in, and it was a loss. So a loss is a loss, right? You have to learn to take a loss so that you can take a win in the future. And yeah, this was the Thursday trade. If I show you the weekly callouts, even if the overall bias for the day is bearish and you are looking for sales, you can pause and read it. Before you enter a trade, always remember that if the price is showing a rejection from a zone or liquidity sweep, that is more stronger than the trade which is not showing any rejection. I have also screenshotted this, don't worry, and I will upload it on some sort of file called a important callout section, so that's not a problem. So Thursday was a loss, right? Monday was a win, Thursday was a loss. So now going on Friday. So now going on Friday, the bias remain bearish because of how this Thursday candle closed, and also the momentum in the market, the selling momentum is very high. So I'm looking for sales, and also it's NFP day, and on DXY it's aligning with the bias being bullish. So the news is NFP. So trading London would not be a bad option, but trading New York could be very, very tricky. So now going on the H4 time frame, finally a change of character happened to the downside. So now this supply zone is validated this change of character. There is a H4 fair value gap to the upside, which the price can fill and find some sort of resistance here from this supply to target the previous week low. The target was clear, being the previous week low, and that is when I go to the H1 time frame. On the H1 time frame, we can clearly see. On the H1 time frame, we can clearly see there was a beautiful supply zone here. I wanted an A-class setup, just like I explained on the Thursday's trade. An A-class setup would be the Asian range to go up and then something like this, right, from this supply zone. On Thursday, the A-class setup happened, but not in our session. It was a New York session A-class setup. As you can see, the London liquidity was used as liquidity, London high was used as liquidity, and then we got the trade on New York. The same sort of things, the same setup, but in London and New York, right? The same setup but in London and New York. If you are trading New York, you trade according to the same setup, but use the London liquidity as the draw liquidity to take the trade. So this was an A-class setup on Friday, a beautiful trade after a long time, man. Not seen a beautiful trade like this for a long time, and now after I've seen this, it literally boosted my confidence so much that I am literally so much confident now in the markets, because I've seen it so many times. Even if I took a loss, trades like this literally bring back my confidence. This was a M5 change of character OTA entry. This trade is also journal, so don't worry. And yeah, man, this was a beautiful 1:4 risk to reward. This would have passed me any perform challenge, any phase. First phase, second phase, doesn't matter according to the risk, right? So this trade was a winner. Everything I want to see in a trade was there. Higher time frame, point of interest mitigation, inducement was not there, but it's okay. Inducement is not compulsory. Mid time frame rejection, lower time frame entry model, DXY, time window, every single thing I want to see in a trade was exactly here. Also, the point of interest was made in New York session, which gave a huge move. It was an A-class setup, and this is an A-class setup, right? New York session, the previous day, Asian range goes up, boom, or a demand zone, Asian range goes down, buys the bullish, boom, right? This is an A-class setup, and this is what I class an A-class setup, and this was how Friday closed. So this was the weekly breakdown for you guys here. So let me quickly show you how the weekly candle closed. This trading this backtesting this market conditions isn't hard, because I've already front tested this, right? These trades I've already front tested, so it's like revising. I'm already feeling like I have seen it somewhere, because I have already done it, man. I have live traded this, and at this point I was trading the backtesting, still backtesting. So now, yeah, this is how the weekly candle closed. So now tomorrow I will again do 10 backtests, 5 May, 12 May, and soon my backtesting is also going to be over. Tomorrow I will target this weekly fair value gap to fill. So let's see, man. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So nothing changed in the market, so the bias also still remains the same, and we'll be looking for the same thing tomorrow. Catch you on the next video. Today was a very productive day, and from tomorrow we'll just rinse and repeat.